4, 3.
Come on, 5 bucks! Only one more! 5 bucks! Come on, guys!
Okay, you're actually on. It's recording. Amish, you're live. Gedalia. Just let you know you're on. He started the recording. This shiur is given in.
Okay. So my salary.
Wait, who's the shiur given in?
Here is one also.
You start working?
Okay, recording.
Everyone wants to hear it. People should come to Moshiach Shiur.
Okay, so we all know that Moshiach it's a constant concept, and we'll speak about the importance of a constant connection. So we see that in the first year, when the Jews when they left Egypt, so they saw a lot of miracles. It was a lot of open miracles. They saw it by the Kriyas Yamsov, and when they got in the desert, they saw how Hashem was behaving with them, and all of these pleasures and comfortabilities which He gave them there. And then later on, it was Matan Torah. After 50 days, it was Matan Torah, and again revelations, open miracles, fires, flames. And all of a sudden we see that on the 17th of Tammuz Moshe comes back from a mountain with the first luchos, with the first tablets, and he see Egel Azov, he see golden calf. He breaks luchos, and it seems that it was not such a short period. Just right here, they saw all these miracles, and just 1 month pass, 3 months, this, that, and that's it. It's already golden calf and avoid the zor. So what do we learn from this? So we see that there is a certain over there. The period was a 3 months, and the 3 months, it's known in a year. It's a tkufa, it's a season. Each single season has a 3 months. And sometimes a person, when he is into that season, sometimes he might get very used to it. He might get very comfortable with it. Like, for example, let's say right now is summer. So a person could get very comfortable with summer, and he doesn't want autumn. He doesn't want to fall. He wants to be in summer. Now, it's brought down, it's known concept that somebody who is Mesader Kiddushin, or somebody who is AD Kiddushin, somebody who is like a witnesses by the Kiddushin under Rupa, so they have to be holy people. They have to do a lot of tshuva in order to do that act, Mesader Kiddushin, and also AD Kiddushin. And it's not a simple thing. So there was a story about a certain Hasidic Rebbe, and it was known about him that he remembered each single moment of his life, even whatever happened 20, 30 years ago. And a Chassid came to him, and he asked him, this Chassid, he was married, and he asked him, how come that you remember each single moment of your life? Something from 20, 30 years, it doesn't make sense. So the Rebbe asked him, did you remember your chasana? So he said, yes, sure. So he remembered what day was it. So he told him a day. And he said, what a simcha call was it? So he told him a simcha call. Then he asked him who you got as a music band, who you got as a caterer, all these different things. And he remembered everything, this Chassid. So he asked, how come that you remember that? So he said, what do you mean? It's a chasana, for sure I remember each single moment of it. So he said, this Hasidic Rebbe told him, that's how I live my life, that I remember each single moment of it. That each single moment I remember, each single moment for me, it's like a chasana, it's like important, something special in my life. That's why I remember each single moment. So the same way is with the Jews, even that they had those special moments, but came time and they forgot. A little bit, it was a short period of time, 1 month, 3 months, and all of a sudden they forgot. Now, it's known that it's very important that's why it's so important in Judaism, it's so important to appreciate those moments. That's why we have so many Yomim Tovim, we have so many days, each single month there is something special happening. And then explicitly by Chassidim, there is additional Yom Kippur, additional days when we're celebrating something, Yom Geula, so on and so forth, different things. So we see in this week parsha, in the parsha of Masei. So in the Masei there was 42 trips. Jewish nation did, and Baal Shem Tov says that those 42 trips, it's 42 steps, 42 trips of a Jew in this world. Each single Jew has those 42 trips. It's life, and but it's very important that somebody, a person, has to realize. The Torah call it, right? The Torah says like they went from one place, and then vayachnu, they came to another place, and Yochanan, it's like more like they stopped at that second place. So it's very important, even that for sure Jewish people, they was moving, there was constant move, but it also was very important, was the moment when they would stop, at some place, and they would be there for a year or two. And as we see, Rashi brings that for the 38 years they did 20 trips, but nevertheless it's called a stop, which means that even that they was moving, they was keep going to their destination, to Eretz Yisrael, but nevertheless it was with eternalizing. It was a stop. Like first we have to see what was advantage of a previous trip, and what do we have from this place where we came right now, where we at right now. And for sure each single Jew has to take it to his life. That it's important, even he knows he constantly moving, he going from one level to next level to next. But it's important to see, to realize where you are, to think about. Now, it says, the Gemara says that a person, he can't leave his friend until his friend tells him aloha, right? That one person says aloha to another one, they do farbrengen, and through that, one Jew, he remembers about another one. That when that issue gonna come up, he gonna remember about his friend. Or whatever the story which he heard, or something, but something which is aloha, it's more common because it's a practical. And it's known what's the connection between those two, because aloha, it comes from the lotion of alika, it comes from the lotion of going. Aloha, it's a constant going. And that's what Hashem says to Avram Avinu. He tells him, Lech Lecha, that now come a time that you should do a trip. And even that Avram Avinu, he was already settled in that area where he lived. And he had his wife, and he had his family, he had his parents there, his friends, his business. But nevertheless, Hashem tells him right now comes time, and Lech Lecha, you have to go, you have to say open Beit Chabad, right? It came time that you did already, you accomplished your mission at that place. Now comes time that you have to open a new Beit Chabad. You have to move to next place, next stop. And that's something which it says the sage is saying to us that after a destruction of a Beis Hamikdash, the only thing which left to Hashem in this world, it's a Arba Amis Shel Aloha. It's a 4 Amis. 4 Amis of Aloha. And Aloha is something which is practical. It's a bottom line of the Sugya, which means like a person could go like the whole entire day, going question, answer, back and forth, logic towards this side, towards that side, allowed, not allowed, kosher, mutar, but the main point is to come out with something practical, to come out with the local, with the bottom line. Okay, now it's known that we're also saying, we were in Baba Metzia, that a person, he acquires a 4 amis. There's something which is 4 amis. 4 amis represent the person, and whatever it is, whatever aloha it might be, he found something in his 4 amis, or whatever it is, it belongs to him now. 4 amis acquires it to him. Now we know that those 4 amis, it's something which is represent 4 levels of soul. There is 5 levels of soul. There is nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida, and the 4 levels is still yechida. And that's something which is in the area of a person. That he already acquires it. And the Rebbe explains in the Kuntras Inyonis Shel Chassidus, he's saying that there is something which is next level. The next level is yechida, the level number 5. Something which is outside of a person, which means outside of his 4 amis, it's some material object which he has to elevate or whatever he has to deal with. So then he needs something outside of a person, so he had to go to the next level, to a level number 5. And that's the Yehida. Now, it's known that in a moving, right, that in a moving, as we were saying, that the Jews, they was going with all these open miracles and level after level, even that they had the hard times, they was asking Moshe Rabbeinu for give us drinks and give us meat and bread, but nevertheless, they was moving towards their goal, and goal was Eretz Yisrael. And the Jewish nation, they got Eretz Yisrael. It was not such easy. It was the whole process. They spent and invest in it like in business. They invest a lot of years in it and a lot of powers. And then we see that nowadays, at some level, we lost it. And that's where we all passion to, and where we all desire in that redemption should happen, and it should get back to us as it was originally. Because originally, that's the Jews and Eretz Yisrael. It's the one thing. It's something which is the same thing that the fish needs water, and that's the only way how it's going to be able to survive. Even that it could still live for a certain amount of time, the fish, if it's going to be out of the water, but it's limited. And brought down, like Maharal says, that the same way is by Jews, that they cannot survive without Eretz Yisrael. Without it should be with the Beis Hamikdash and with Mashiach. It's just impossible. And even that right now we see that it's still another second, just the second before, we're still without it, but next second is we already there. And it's important that what we see through this Golus process, that it's different steps and different stages in getting to Eretz Yisrael. And we simply could find that there is something which is called Schar Psis, a reward for the steps. That it says if a person comes to learn, he runs to Beis Medrash, to the shul, even that he comes, he doesn't understand exactly what's going on, what to pray, at what part to open the Siddur, or what exactly going on, what a Shir is all about, but nevertheless, he has a reward for the steps, for those steps that he invested, that he came to shul, he came. Now, it's very interesting that it's brought down, Gemara brings that for the schar, for the reward of the 4 steps, which Abimelech, which he gave a Leviah, he gave Leviah, how you say, a scoring to Avrom Avinu when he was leaving his house. So it says that a Jews went into Golus for 400 years. A small thing, even that Abimelech, he had like wherever he was with the Avrom Avinu, with the Sarah, whole story. But nevertheless, he did a small thing. It's all he did, the 4 steps. That's all what Aloha requires for the mitzvah of escorting. When a guest comes to your house, so you're escorting him. Even 4 steps, and just for that, he got already to put the Jews in slavery for 400 years. That's what it says. Then there is another story in Gemara that it was Nebuchadnezzar, that he was a writer, and he was writing a letter. A king told him to write a letter to Hiskiyahu, because Hiskiyahu, he was not healthy, and he wrote him a letter. He should have a refuah shlema, and happened to be that day when he was supposed to write a letter, he was not there, and somebody else wrote a letter. And then he was consulting Nebuchadnezzar, somebody who was also a big Rosha, and he was somebody who wanted to maybe fight with Hashem, and said that he was going to be able to win Hashem. But nevertheless, at his first period, the story says that what is it called? That he asked the guys who wrote the letter. He asked, "What you wrote there?" So they said that we wrote in the beginning of the letter. We wrote 3 things. We said that Shalom LaMelech Hiskiyahu. We're saying like they gave a peace, they gave a respect to Melech Hiskiyahu. Then they said the peace to city of Yerushalayim, and then also a peace to God. Shalom LaLakago, like a peace to a big God. So he said, "Are you crazy? You had to put a God on the first place. How come that you put a God on the last place? You should put a God on the first place, then Yerushalayim, because that's a holy city, and that's something where Beis Hamikdash is, and that's where a main part of Judaism, of the Jewish life, of the spiritual life. That's where it is. That should be in the second place, and just in the third place, it should be Melech Hiskiyahu." And he ran after mailman, like who was bringing this letter, in order to stop him, that they should fix this letter. And it says that Hashem, he sent the angel of Gabriel, and angel of Gabriel stopped him. Angel Gabriel stopped him. And the Gemara says that if he wouldn't stop him, then he would have a power, Nebuchadnezzar had the power to destroy the whole entire world. Just for this small thing that he wanted to give respect to Hashem. So we see how important is each single step. And where we see that by Ksidim, right, by spreading out the Torah's Chsidus and spreading out the Torah of a Rebbe and the whole idea of where we're going to, right? It's steps, but we have to know what's our destination, what's our goal, and the goal is Moshiach and Geulah. And by spreading out this Torah, we acquiring more property for Hashem, right? And more property for a world, that the world should be able to be a proper place, a proper kli, in order to accept this godliness. And that's something we could see nowadays, that nowadays when you're speaking with the people, even secular people, about God, it's not the same as, let's say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Nowadays, even a person, he might not agree to everything what you say, but he relates, he understands, he hops, he grasps it. And that's something what's very important nowadays. And Rebbe brings in Maimer, there is 4 levels. There is 4 levels in this world. The Rebbe says that, and that's 4 levels which we're saying in a davening, we're saying on a Shabbos, in a brocha, in additional verses which we're saying by the first brocha before Kriya Shema. So we're saying in Shacharis. So we're saying over there that there is a Olam Haza, that's the 4th stage. Next stage is Olam Haba. Then there is a Yima Isa Moshiach, yeah. When Olam Moshiach is Tchiyas HaMeisim, and the level number 4, it's a Tchiyas HaMeisim. Right? So that's the 4 levels. But then there is a level number 5. And level number 5, that's what Rebbe says in Kuntra Sinyon Shel Chassidus, he explains over there that that goes on a Yechida. And that's the stage which we all in right now. And something that Rebbe says in different places, that through that level, the level of Yechida, which means that nowadays that's a Mesiras Nefesh, when he has this Iber Gegeben, and when he gives himself away, whatever it takes, to help another Jew, or even that he by himself, he gonna be lacking in some other areas, but whatever it is, if that's gonna bring something good, if that's gonna help out to the whole entire world, a Jew shouldn't care. He shouldn't care. And the point is that that by this Mesiras Nefesh, by this not thinking about what is gonna be and how we're gonna do that, it just sometimes a person just supposed to throw himself in it. And that's what it means, this 5th level. So Be'ezras Hashem is better that we should be able to accomplish it, and it should be with a lot of Atzlogan, with a lot of Simcha, and we should be able to see a build Beis Hamikdash with Mashiach Tzidkenu V'Mkeir V'Meinu Mamash. Amen.